I stared at the PDF attachment on my phone, the subject line casually chirping, split even, smiley face. It was from my wife, Madison. My birthday had come and gone 3 weeks ago. 5th year in a row she forgot. No text. No cake. Not even a lazy, happy birthday whispered in the dark. Nothing. But now she sends me an invoice for her sister's birthday yacht party. $5,550. Split even here, red heart. I blinked. Then I read it again. Was she out of her damn mind? She hadn't just forgotten my birthday again. She'd vanished for that whole week, claiming it was an emergency work retreat in Miami. No calls, no photos, just a vague text saying she was too swamped for anything romantic this year. And here it was. The truth, dressed in a yacht and champagne, buried in AF *****ing invoice. My throat dried. My fingers clenched the phone so tight I thought it might shatter. My heartbeat didn't just race, it roared. I didn't reply. Not immediately. I needed silence. Stillness. Or I'd snap. So I went upstairs. Packed a duffel bag. Grabbed the keys to the safe. Laptop. Files. External hard drive. She was out, probably working late, again. I didn't care. I transferred every shared account out of her reach, credit cards, streaming platforms, even the damn grocery store rewards. Then I sent her $3. Just $3. With a note. I'm not on board. I didn't hear from her for 6 hours. Then it began. It started with a missed call. Then 10. Then 23. A voicemail. Hey, babe? Weird thing. The cards aren't working. Can you check if it's fraud? Or call me, please. Next came the emails. Panic laced in fake sweetness. Hey, sweetie, I think there's some sort of glitch. Grinning face with sweat. I ignored them all. Until the bank called me. Mr. Cole Andrews? We've received a fraud report on several joint accounts flagged by your wife, Madison. She claims your cards were compromised. I exhaled slowly and leaned back in my chair. I smiled. Tell Madison, I said, that the only fraud here is her marriage. I hung up before they could respond. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about birthdays. Or cards. Or even the damn yacht. This was about all of it. The disrespect. The lies. The way she smiled at me like I was the fool she kept around for comfort and convenience. And I just burned the rope she'd been hanging me with. That night, I waited. Lights off. Whiskey in hand. Phone screen glowing. At 12:44 a.m., she came home. I watched from the kitchen window as she stumbled out of an Uber, hair messy, heels in one hand, phone glued to her ear. Probably calling Jessica. Or Brad, the coworker she thinks I haven't noticed sending late-night texts since May. She opened the door. Cole? Why the F*** are the lights off? She called out, tone sharp, annoyed, like she expected a butler greeting her. I stepped forward, slowly, letting the hallway light catch my face. She froze. Her eyes narrowed. What the hell's going on? She asked. I lifted my phone and turned the screen toward her. The invoice. Her message. My reply. All open. All glowing. Tell me about the yacht, Madison, I said, voice flat. She blinked. Smirked. Shrugged. It's not a big deal. It was Alyssa's birthday. Everyone chipped in. Everyone. She hesitated. Well, yeah. You and me. Like always. You lied about being at a work retreat, I said. You were off the coast of Key Biscayne drinking mimosas on a rented yacht. She didn't flinch. Instead, she rolled her eyes. Oh my God, Cole. Grow up. It's not like you were doing anything special. You forgot my birthday. She scoffed. Your birthday again? Jesus, you're such a child about that. Get over it. It's just a day. Just a day. 5 years of silence. 5 years of excuses. And now, an invoice. And this? This was her reaction? She stepped past me and grabbed a water bottle. Twisted the cap hard. Are you done with this little meltdown? Because I've had a long day. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. And in that moment, I knew. This wasn't just betrayal. It was war. And she had no idea who she'd just declared it on. She left the bottle on the counter, didn't even bother to look at me. Just walked upstairs like I was the hired help who'd gotten too emotional. The audacity. Like I was interrupting her peace after she sent me a bill for a luxury party I wasn't even invited to. I followed her. Not because I wanted to argue. I was done arguing. I followed because I needed to see it for myself the moment her smug mask cracked. She was already in the bedroom, kicking off her shoes and scrolling on her phone. Still ignoring me? She said without looking up. No, I said, calm as ice. Just watching. She looked up, finally. Her eyes narrowed again. That same damn look. Like I was an insect she hadn't finished stepping on. What the hell are you even doing? You freaked out over a party? You seriously think that's betrayal? You lied. About where you were. Again. So, she snapped. It was just a party. You wouldn't have come anyway. You're right, I said. I wouldn't. I wouldn't be caught dead celebrating your sister's birthday while you forgot mine for the 5th time. Don't guilt-trip me with this birthday crap again, Cole, she said, now fully irritated. You always act like a wounded puppy when you don't get attention. Maybe if you weren't so boring. Finish that sentence, I said, stepping closer. Go ahead. She backed up just slightly, but not out of fear. Out of calculation. That was always her thing. Push just enough. Then pivot. Manipulate. She smirked. Whatever. It's not worth fighting about. You'll get over it. You always do. No, Madison. I won't. Silence. She tilted her head. What's that supposed to mean? It means I'm done financing this fantasy you've built around your pathetic little life. The cards are gone. The accounts are frozen. That BMW you love? I bought it. It's mine. The condo in your sister's name? I own that too. All of it. Now the mask slipped. What? She said. Voice a little thinner now. You're bluffing. Am I? I pulled out the folder. Hard copies of everything. Signed. Stamped. Sealed. Proof that the fairy tale she'd built was a castle I paid for, and now I was tearing it down. Her eyes darted from page to page as I dropped them on the bed. You wouldn't, she said, voice trembling, but not from fear. From pure disbelief. I did. She lunged for her phone. I watched her open her banking app, and then I watched her face drain like a wine glass knocked off a table. No, 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 she whispered. You can't do this. I have clients. I have bills. I have. You had a husband, I said. But you lost him when you sent me a ****ing invoice for a party you lied to attend. She looked up. And now, finally, there it was. Panic. Okay, look, maybe I should have told you. But it wasn't some betrayal. I was just tired of walking on eggshells with you, Cole. You've been so distant lately, I didn't even think you'd notice. I needed a break. That's all. I laughed. A break? Is that what you call it now? What's Brad call it? Oh, right. Team bonding. I've seen the texts. Her lips parted. I saw it then, the calculation whirring behind her eyes. She was trying to find a way out. An angle. A new lie. But she was slow this time. Too slow. You read my phone? I read what popped up when you left it on the kitchen island with the shirt still in your gym bag. She opened her mouth. Closed it. Then rolled her eyes, like the conversation bored her now. Brad was just a distraction. You used me, I said. My voice dropped lower. You used my money, my name, my time, my trust, and you spat on it. For a yacht. For ego. For some pathetic fantasy where you're the center of everything. She threw her hands up. Fine. You want a divorce? Take it. You'll be crawling back when you realize no one else will put up with your crap. I didn't even blink. Madison, I won't be crawling. But you? You'll be swimming through bills in an apartment you can't afford, wondering when your next fake friend stops replying to your texts. Then I turned and walked out of the room. I didn't slam the door. I wanted her to hear how quiet it sounded when I finally left. She didn't follow me. Not that night. Not the next morning either. I stayed at a hotel downtown, overlooking the skyline. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere far enough from the echo of her voice, her perfume in the hallway, the way she used to slam the fridge when she was too tired to cook. My phone stayed on, but silent. Her messages kept piling up, at first frantic, then angry, then sugary sweet. It was like watching a con artist flip through personalities, hoping one would still work. I didn't respond. Then came the photos. Old pictures of us, beach vacations, her laughing at something I'd said. She even sent a video of my dog, Jasper, sitting by the door, like guilt was the rope she thought would still pull me back in. What she didn't know was, I'd already taken Jasper with me the night I left. She hadn't even noticed. And then, on the third day, she made her first real move. I was coming out of the hotel elevator, coffee in hand, when I saw her waiting by the lobby window. Black dress, big sunglasses, lips pressed together like a polished threat. I sighed. She spotted me, stood up, heels clicking like a warning shot. You're making a mistake, she said. No hello. No apology. I made one 5 years ago when I married you. She flinched, Just slightly. You're throwing away everything. You threw it away. I'm just taking out the trash. Really, Cole? She said, stepping closer. Because I talked to my lawyer. And you freezing the accounts like that? Technically, eh? Technically what? I cut her off. Everything's in my name. The house. The cars. Even your boutique's lease. You signed it. But I own the building. You read the fine print, Madison? She stared. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. Her brain was spinning faster than her excuses. You wouldn't let me drown, she finally whispered. You're already sinking. She stepped forward again, lowered her voice. Please. Don't do this. Don't ruin me. I stared at her. Not her body. Not her lips. Not the woman who used to sleep beside me. I stared at the thing that had slowly turned cold and venomous over the years and still expected to be worshipped. You ruined yourself, I said. I just stopped pretending it wasn't happening. I walked away. She didn't follow. Not this time. Later that night, the hotel called. Said someone tried to check in under my name. Then security found her in the parking garage, screaming into her phone. Probably Brad's number. Or her sister's. Or someone else she could spin her sob story to. But the thing about sympathy is you eventually run out of people who'll give it for free. I spent the rest of the night finalizing the divorce paperwork. There was a section for reason for irreconcilable differences. I didn't write a novel. I didn't pour my soul into that line. I just wrote. She billed me for betrayal. The lawyer would love that. The next morning, I filed it. Then I blocked her on everything. Her calls, her emails, her sister's desperate texts. Deleted the photos, the cloud storage, the shared playlists, everything. Except one voicemail. Her last one. Cole. I messed up. Okay. I know that. I was stupid. I didn't think you'd actually go through with it. I thought you loved me. I mean, you always said you did. You were the only one who ever did. Please. Just talk to me. She sounded raw in that one. Real. Like maybe, just maybe, she finally understood what she lost. But I didn't keep the voicemail for closure. I kept it as a reminder that love without respect is just slow poison. And I'm done drinking it. A week passed. Then two. Silence wrapped around me like a warm, unfamiliar blanket. No yelling. No slammed doors. No guilt-drenched manipulation masquerading as concern. Just me, Jasper, and the quiet hum of a life I was finally beginning to remember was mine. That's when the flowers started showing up. First bouquet arrived at the hotel front desk. White lilies. Her favorite, never mine. The note was signed, still your wife. Still sorry. Second bouquet. Red roses. Third, a tacky combination of tulips and orchids that looked like a desperate afterthought. I didn't touch a single one. But what really broke the stillness was the envelope that came on the third Monday. No sender. Just my name, clean and sharp. Inside was a printed statement, a new invoice. Same formatting as the Yacht one. Only this time, it listed expenses like emotional labor, 5 years of putting up with your moods, and wasted potential. Total, $1 million. Due immediately. At the bottom, in bold italics, it said, You always treated everything like a transaction. So let's finish the deal. I laughed. Out loud. Right there in the hotel hallway. I scanned it, emailed it to my lawyer with one line. Add this to the evidence pile. He replied. On it. Judge will love this. Madison never understood that a man's silence doesn't mean weakness. It's the loading screen before something permanent. The truth is, I'd already begun moving assets weeks before I pulled the plug. Not because I expected betrayal, but because I felt it creeping. And the way her kisses dried up. The way her phone faced down. The late-night text with work stress as the excuse. The receipts she forgot to throw out. Brad, by the way, turned out to be married too. With 2 kids. Guess who his wife contacted when I sent her a Dropbox link full of screenshots? Yep. Turns out pain can bond strangers fast. She called me the next day. I had no idea, she said. He told me Madison was just his colleague. Apparently, colleague now means late-night hotel rooms and weekend retreats. We ended up talking for nearly 2 hours. Not out of bitterness. Out of something else. Something like survival. Shared disbelief. It's strange how fast you can feel human again when someone else reminds you you're not insane. By the end of the call, she thanked me. Said I gave her a gift. I said, you can keep it. I'm just glad someone used it right. The next major twist came when Madison tried to access my company's internal systems. I got a call from HR. Apparently, she claimed she was authorized to view employee profiles and submitted a fake consulting agreement under her maiden name. The audacity. We revoked it instantly. The same day, a cease and desist letter was served to her email, hand-delivered to her office, and posted to her Instagram in a very public call-out when she tried to play victim online. Her caption had said, "When your loyalty is met with betrayal, some people just aren't built for strong women." I commented one line under it. "Strong women don't invoice their husbands for betrayal after lying for years." Then I logged off. Her post vanished 10 minutes later. The mask was crumbling. Fast. Her texts turned manic. "Please stop ruining me. Can we at least talk? You don't know what it's like to feel invisible in your own marriage." I didn't reply. Not because I didn't care anymore, but because finally, I cared about myself more. 3 more weeks passed. By now, the divorce was public. Friends started choosing sides. Or rather, most of them quietly ghosted her and reached out to me. Her stylist unfollowed her and DM'd me, didn't realize she was that kind of woman. Even her own cousin, Taylor, sent me a message. "You didn't deserve any of that, man. She's been different since the day you gave her everything." Truth was, I never gave her everything. I gave her too much. And she spent years teaching me that no amount of love, money, or patience can change someone who believes they're entitled to your soul. But the final blow came on a Tuesday morning, exactly 2 months since the yacht invoice. I was sitting on my new apartment balcony, Jasper by my feet, sipping black coffee, scrolling the news. Then I saw the headline: "Boutique co-founder under fire for alleged fraud and employee mistreatment." I clicked. Heart steady, almost calm. There she was. Madison's face, plastered in an article that listed everything I knew would catch up with her eventually: fake receipts, double billing clients, even ghost employees she collected state relief for during COVID. I'd seen glimpses of it years ago. Turned a blind eye. Told myself she was just under pressure. Now, the whole world knew. A former assistant came forward with screenshots. Another filed a formal complaint. And someone, likely her own accountant, leaked the PDF invoice she sent me. The internet didn't like that one bit. I scrolled through the comments. "Imagine forgetting your man's birthday 5 years straight and then billing him for your girl's boat party skull. Sis forgot who paid the bills. She thought she was the main character until the plot twisted. I should have felt vindicated. I should have laughed, but I just stared at the screen. Quiet. Still. Because somewhere inside, a small part of me remembered who she used to be. The girl who used to dance barefoot in our kitchen. Who cried when her dog died. Who once held my hand in a hospital waiting room like I was the only person on earth. But that girl was gone. Replaced. Bit by bit. Lie by lie. And I had let it happen. The next day, she called me. Unknown number. I answered. There was silence for 2 whole seconds. Then, Cole. Her voice was soft. Cracked at the edges. "I lost everything," she said. "No," I replied. "You gave everything away." Another pause. "I thought you'd come back eventually." "I know," I said. "That's why I won't." Click. No more words. No more guilt. Just the sound of peace settling back into my bones. And for the first time in years, I let it stay. A few days later, I got a letter. Not an email. Not a text. A real, handwritten letter. Sloppy handwriting, perfume smudged on the edges. She must have cried while writing it, like that mattered now. I didn't even open it at first. I left it on the kitchen counter for 2 days. Jasper sniffed it once and walked away. Smart dog. On the 3rd night, I finally unfolded it. Not because I missed her. I just needed to know what her final move would be. What her last attempt to twist the knife looked like. The letter began with a scribbled mess of excuses. I wasn't myself. I didn't know how unhappy I was until I lost you. You made me feel small when you were successful. There it was again. That familiar shift, how my wins somehow became her pain. How everything I built was a reminder of what she hadn't. She blamed me for her guilt. Wore it like a victim badge. Then came the line that made my stomach turn. "If you'd just been less cold, maybe I wouldn't have looked for warmth elsewhere." I folded the letter, ripped it in half, then again and again, until it was 100 little pieces on the floor. I wasn't cold. I was patient. I was loyal. I was hers. And she spent 5 years treating me like a placeholder for whatever fantasy she thought she deserved. That night, I opened my laptop and began writing something else. It wasn't revenge. Wasn't a blog post or a rant. It was a message to myself. The kind of letter I wish someone had handed me on the day I said, "I do." To the man who loves too quietly, don't confuse her drama for depth. Don't let lies wrapped in affection become your truth. When she forgets your birthday but remembers everyone else's party, walk away. When she belittles your dreams because hers are slipping, don't shrink. When she treats you like an ATM with emotions, cut the card. And when she finally realizes what she lost, don't answer. Because you were never the villain in her story. You were just the mirror she couldn't bear to look into. I hit print, framed it, hung it in my new office. It wasn't bitterness. It was clarity. Months passed. I built things again. Not from scratch, better. New apartment, new routines, new friends, a new woman, eventually. One who asked questions, not just about what I did, but how I felt. And the first time she celebrated my birthday, she didn't throw a yacht party. She cooked dinner, made a playlist, wrote me a card. No invoice, no guilt, just love, the way it was always supposed to be. I never spoke Madison's name again after that night. Not to friends, not to my parents, not even to myself in passing thoughts. She became like smoke, once thick and choking, now just gone. But her shadow showed up now and then. The boutique shut down within 3 months of the article. Her partner bailed. Clients demanded refunds. Investigations followed. One of the girls she bullied online leaked screenshots of Madison mocking customers behind their backs, calling them wallets and heels. The internet did what it always does. Tore her down with the same speed she used to build her fake empire. Brad's wife? She divorced him too. Took the house, the kids, even the dog. Turns out betrayal doesn't just ruin relationships, it erases the illusion that people are better than they truly are. I got one more message from Madison after all of it. An email from a burner account. No greeting. No closure. Just, "Are you happy now?" I stared at those 4 words for longer than I want to admit. Was I? I leaned back in my chair, glanced at the window. Sunlight poured through clean glass. Jasper snored softly at the edge of the room. No alarms. No tension. No lies humming in the background. And I realized, yes, not because she suffered, but because I finally stopped trying to carry someone who was never meant to walk beside me. I didn't reply. That was the last thing I owed her, my silence. Months passed. My work flourished. I started speaking at conferences. Not about relationships, but about rebuilding. Not just financially, but emotionally. A few people came up afterward, always hesitant, always raw. "Did you really cut everything off in one night?" And I'd say, "No. I cut it off in pieces." The night she sent me that yacht invoice was just the final slice. Sometimes they laughed. Sometimes they nodded slowly, like they knew exactly what that felt like. Truth is, everyone has a version of Madison. A person they poured everything into while bleeding quietly on the inside. What matters is what you do after the bleeding stops. One evening, while packing for a short business trip, I found an old box I'd forgotten. Inside, a watch she bought me years ago. It had stopped ticking long ago. Dusty. Heavier than I remembered. I held it for a moment. Thought about the time we lost. Not just what she took, but what I gave away trying to hold on to something that only ever drained me. Then I dropped it in the trash. Time, after all, wasn't something I could ever get back. But peace? That, I claimed every day. And I never sent her a bill. The divorce was finalized exactly 10 months after that night she sent the yacht invoice. No courtroom drama. No screaming match. Just a quiet signature in a lawyer's office, followed by the gentle thud of a pen being set down. My attorney looked at me and said, "Congratulations." Strange word, for the death of something that started in love. But he wasn't wrong. It was a kind of freedom. A clean line drawn under years of silent suffering. No fireworks, no final argument. Just the end of a chapter that had dragged on too long. I walked out of that office lighter. Not happy. Not yet. But unchained. A few weeks later, I got an invitation from an old friend, Ethan, who used to disappear from my life during the Madison years. I always thought he was just busy. Turns out he was waiting for me to wake up. Back then, he said over drinks, it felt like talking to a hostage. I smiled. A sad, tired smile. I was. He lifted his glass. Not anymore. The next morning, I sat on my balcony, coffee in hand, Jasper at my feet, watching the sky shift from gold to blue. No messages buzzing. No stomach-churning questions about where she was or who she was with. Just peace. Not the loud, celebratory kind. The quiet kind. The kind that feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. I thought about everything I'd been through. The gaslighting. The manipulation. The loneliness of sleeping next to someone who made you feel more alone than being truly alone ever could. The fake apologies. The calculated affection. And I realized something. You can forgive a mistake, but you can't forgive a pattern someone chooses to keep repeating. Madison didn't ruin me. She revealed me. Revealed how much I'd been willing to endure for the illusion of love. Revealed the parts of myself I had silenced just to keep someone else comfortable. I'm not bitter. I'm better. And if anyone ever asks me what I learned, I'll tell them this. If someone forgets your birthday for 5 years in a row, but sends you a bill for a party you weren't invited to, don't send them money. Send them a message. Then send them away. And never, ever look back.